Hello everyone, I'm Milo and welcome to my town, and welcome to the third episode of the Luigi Strategy in Mario Kart Tour. So we have the Mario vs Luigi Tour currently ongoing. Well, it's close to ending, but since it was a very Luigi focused tour, I thought it was good to make an episode here and talk about basically what some of the stuff that I've been doing behind the scenes in between the past episode that I did want to show eventually, so I think this is the time, and in comparison with what the new Luigi set that came to the game does. So I think you're just going to be looking at Excel stuff for most of this video. So this is my Luigi Stats Excel sheet. I basically have several tabs here that I'm going to show you right now, and I've been keeping track of stuff that has to do with the Luigi items in the game. So let's go over them. I don't have a script for this, so I'm just basically reading along. So basically here we have this first tab, which is the level 6 coverage. So I have some descriptions. I wrote them for myself, but also for exposition since I was going to share this eventually anyways. So this list is the log of the tracks that have a full level 6 coverage using only Luigi items and the new ones over time. I'm tracking only non-cities for simplicity, since cities don't come back all the time, so it's easier. I started tracking since the Bangkok tour, which was the number 73 tour in the game. So at that point in time, with the items that I had, which were the items that were released at that time, was that before the Metropolitan? That was after the Metropolitan, yeah. So at that point, I had 11 tracks that were fully covered with only Luigi items. I am not taking into consideration any other item that I may have, because that is something that is variable in between player to player. But if we are just focusing only on the Luigi stuff, which is what I have been doing in this series, then this is it. We have Bowser Castle, which I believe this is the 3DS one. You can see here the items and the level 6. So this left side right here is only the level 6 one. So you can see which items they have. Bowser Castle 3DS, Chip Chip Island T, Coconut Mall R and T, Koopa Cape T, Luigi's Mansion R, RT and T. The regular version, it's not full of Luigi items. I don't remember what it has, but it's just not full level 6 Luigi. Motion Gorge T, World Shipyard T, and Yoshi Valley T. The next tour that was the Piranha tour added Piranha Plant Slide R with the Cat Luigi stuff. Actually, it's full Cat Luigi. Well, here I'm just tracking one of the items. Some of these tracks, and a lot of them in fact, do have several Luigi items per category, but I'm just describing the overall. Not exactly how many they are duped, but sometimes they are dupes. So this has Piranha Plant Slide R and Sky Garden. The Ocean Tour didn't bring any new ones. Then the Sunday Tour, Sky High Sunday, got another full level 6 coverage in the new track. Just to keep in mind that, well, yeah, this one wasn't the new track in Sky High Sunday T. Since this is like a tour exclusive, even though it's in Mario Kart 8, I don't really know how they're gonna handle this one, if they're gonna bring it back at times or not. It was interesting that this one received its RT at launch, but we don't know if it's gonna be like Ninja Hideaway or what. Then is the Bowser Tour, which was the previous one. There were no changes. And then, of course, in the Mario vs Luigi Tour, since it's heavily Mario and Luigi based, there were a lot of item buffs to previous Luigi components, at the very least talking about Luigi, and we did have some new ones. So we had 14 tracks prior to this, and this one added 6 whole new ones. Bowser Castles 3, which was a new track that debuted last tour, but with the new items of this tour it became full level 6 with Luigi. DK Pass R, which is an old track. By the way, I have Luigi's Hat Balloon here. Yeah, I'll talk about the new items later. Luigi Raceway Normal R and T, which has the 3 versions that got added. They all are full level 6 Luigi, which is really cool. Since it's a new track and it will be repeated in upcoming tours probably, for at least the foreseeable future, then I know I'm gonna do good on those. And Remix Bowser Castle 1T, which is also a new track that debuted last tour, and with some of the new items of this tour it became full level 6 coverage. In fact, it's quite interesting because some of the tracks that debuted last tour I had really bad coverage for, but it really helped me with this tour because they buffed them with Luigi stuff, so I don't have to worry about them too much anymore. If we go here on the right side, here is a list of tracks that have items at low level but would become full level 6 coverage once upgraded. The red outlines means that it's unlocked at level 8, which is unlikely for me to go for. So this is just some, for example, Baby Park. If I upgraded a glider, I don't remember which one it is, it might be the green cat parafol. Mine is level 6. If I were to upgrade it to level 8, it would unlock this track. However, I am unlikely to ever do that. And the same for Cuba Cape R, Motion Gorge, and Vanilla Lake 2T. They have stuff that if I level to level 8, it will become... I think this one is Penguin Luigi, for example, which is still a level 2 for me. Meanwhile, the orange ones, as you can see here, has the Painter, which I still have not really leveled. If I were to level it, I don't know if it's 6 or 3 or something. Basically, this one's flying easel as well. And Classic Luigi, which actually is 2 now. Let me change that. If I upgraded those, it would become a full level 6 coverage for this track. But currently it's not. Actually, I don't know. Okay, basically these tracks are ones that if I level some of the components that I don't have at level 6 yet, they would become full level 6 coverage, which is basically what I am tracking here. Just what are the quote-unquote perfect tracks, the ones that I can probably score a lot. That's this first step. Okay, then we have this step, which is the tour message. I just made a little cut because I was trying to read what I put here, but I think I might have worded it wrong. Basically, this is some tables that detail in a specific tour out of the 36 tracks how many had Luigi items featured on them. I am accounting cup boosts, I am accounting spotlight boosts, and I will often manually check them. I'll admit for this last one I didn't manually check, but you'll see in a moment. It's so there's so many items that it's probably right. I'm only counting, like, say a track has both Painter and Builder Luigi. Well, I'm only counting it as one. It's just a specific track. So once again, I started with Bangkok, and in that one, I had 23 tracks that had level 6 drivers of Luigi, 13 tracks that had karts, and 11 that had gliders. Additionally, tracks that had Luigi components that are not level 6 yet, I had 2 for drivers, 4 for karts, 3 for gliders. Next is basically just summing this, so considering every Luigi component, it would be a total of 25 tracks. Out of the 36, that's a lot. I don't really remember Bangkok, but yeah, I guess I had a lot of stuff in there. I think it's because Vacation was brought back on that one, so he probably had some new buffs and also a spotlight boost. Additionally, I'm counting the full tracks that had full level 6 coverage during that tour, so you know, the tracks that likely maximize my scores for the tour. And without considering level 6 but full Luigi coverage, they were 9. Finally, the ranked usages for that tour of Luigi stuff was drivers 3 out of 6 times, karts 1 out of 6, and gliders 3 out of 6 as well. I believe that Pretzel was still getting a lot of buffs in here, so that's probably that. Moving on here, for the Verona tour, I guess I wrote here, I forgot to check during the tour manually, so I was just relying on the spreadsheet data, which could have errors. And here is when here I leveled the Pretzel, which I had gotten on the Metropolitan, and it made the Flying Easel the only glider that I hadn't leveled, and I was still waiting for the Luigi Parafall. You can see the stats here, I'm not gonna read them, but you can pause the video and see them. Then here in the Ocean Tour, here I have another note. I'm gonna make a small parenthesis here. Going back to the spreadsheet that I talked about in the last episode, basically. I said that it was fine in the import tab to just write the Luigi items only. But I did found there was some sort of error. I don't know why it happened. But the Yoshi Valleys and some other tracks, they weren't tracking properly if I just typed the Luigi items. So what I did is that I just copied everything, as I showed you, like you copy everything here from the top, remove the format and paste it in here, even if the only items that I have documented here are the Luigi ones. Without doing it like this, it gave some errors, so I don't know. That's what I wrote here basically, that was happening. The Yoshi Valley coverage was not being registered, so I manually checked the data. And I eventually found out it was because of that, so just a small correction from this last video. This text in here, I was actually going to document whenever I would actually use a Luigi item versus some other item. For example, I have some, the gold glider for example, which is at level 7 for me. It's better than using a level 6 Luigi glider if it applies for a track. So I'm likely going to be using that one. Or my example here is the yellow off-roader, which has been getting a lot of love too. Mine is level 6 and max uncapped, so it will be way better than a Luigi card that I only have double uncapped, most of them, all of them in fact. I ended up just trashing it because it's too much work to take care of. I mean, I'm already just documenting this data out of my spare time, so I don't want it taking way more time than it has. And next in the Sunday tour, you can see the stats. Yeah, the painter was in week 2, however, I was considering leveling up, but I didn't need to because I just did very well during this cup, so I didn't level the painter. I saved my tickets for there. Bowser tour, here's where I say that the copying the things fixed the issue. Well, as I said, I haven't been really talking about them, but you can see. Overall, you can see that it started here 23, 13, 11, then it decreased a little bit, which is normal because we didn't have spotlight boost anymore. 17, 15, 13, 17, 12, 16, sort of similar. And then here in the Bowser tour, it started to decrease like a lot. 13, 8, 11, really low. Because some other stuff started being featured, and the Bowser Castle, it got really hard buffs for me. But then here in the Mario vs. Luigi tour, just look at this. 23 and 2 not level 6 yet, 18 and 27 for the glider. That's just 10 tracks that were covered by gliders. Insane actually. I got the new Luigi set and it leveled it up. Also Luigi Classic leveled to 2 because they gave it for free. And of course ranked 5 out of 6, 4 and 4 out of 6. It was really nuts in this tour. Okay, that's pretty much what I want to talk about. Then I have the ranked stats. Basically, I have been taking track of the ranked cups since the cat tour. I don't know how long I'll keep doing it, but I did want to make it for the exposition of this video at the very least, whenever I was going to talk about it. So basically, I'm just documenting here during specific weeks of ranked in tours, how I placed, my tier change. I see a photo not final because I think you can see I have 74,000 score, but I ended up with 86,000. I don't remember where I improved. I think it was Mushroom Course, but I didn't take the screenshot later. So here I went up a tier. In the next one I went up a tier again. I placed first. In this one I placed fourth, so it stayed in the Metropolitan. And then next one I leveled up as well. And I made Luigi max for this. I think I had already talked about that. What else do we have? Bangkok, I kept the tier, then I went up. Then the Piranha Tour I went up, and then I went down because my inventory was bad. I think this is the worst rank up that I ever had in the game, if I'm not mistaken. Then the Ocean Tour, I guess I wrote it, had a good luck getting the Tropical Glider for free. I got it in the free pipe, and I didn't have any other gliders for Singapore Speedway 2R, so it helped my score a little bit, and I did place first. Then next week I had no chance, so I think I dropped. You can read the notes here basically, I'm not reading them. Sunday Tour, I lost and I won. Bowser Tour, this one was kind of sad. So the first week it was hard, so I dropped. I didn't really try that much. But then the next week I tried a little bit more, but it wasn't enough. It was just, look at this, it's almost 10,000 score in difference from El Bromas. Oh my god, I didn't notice that. I was hoping to win this one, and I couldn't. They just gave me way too hard opponents. So I went down again, and I missed out on the Dry Bowser suit. It's the only ranked reward that I've missed ever since they were introduced. But it's just a suit, so I guess it doesn't really matter. And then here in the Mario vs. Luigi Tour, this is the week 1, I won. Nothing to worry about with the level 6 Luigi. As you can see, almost everything is here in level 6. The only one that's not is the Galaxy Ribbon. And this week I'm likely going to win as well. This hasn't ended, so yeah. Basically just to show, and if you want to just pause and detail how many Luigi items have been, there has been at the very least one in every single one of them. Even if here it was just a pretzel. So basically the strategy is working, is the point that I'm trying to make with here. And then the final tab that I have is the total points tracker, basically just tracking the total points of each tour. Since my main goal is to try to reach the 900,000 threshold to get all of the rewards from the cards, I do that, so I got it here in the Cat Tour, Metropolitan, because there were so many cities I couldn't do it. Bangkok I came back, Piranha Plant I did it. The Ocean Tour, I wrote it here, the reason. So unfortunately the Sea Cruiser has very hard coverage, including the lack of Luigi buffs beside the Pretzel Glider. I was still ways off from getting the score, and I decided just not to bother. I legitimately think I wouldn't have been able to do it. It's just, even after trying to optimize my scores in most, or if not all of the tracks, I was still missing 40,000 points. It was just not likely. Sunday Tour I came back. Then in the Bowser Tour I genuinely thought I wouldn't make it because the Bowser Castle GBA, they just suck. But I somehow pulled through. I think I just had some tracks that I had really lucky coverage on. And this is for the current tour, Mario vs Luigi. I have like 930,000 or something like that. But here, if I'm not mistaken, it's my best score so far. I don't bother optimizing it. I don't have it yet since this screenshot only appears after the tour has ended. But basically I also got the 900k. Well, those were basically the Luigi stats that I've been keeping track of. I will likely keep track of them for a little bit more. I mean, since I've talked about them now. Just to make the exposition that I wanted on the video. It does take a while to record all of these, and I have limited time, so I try my best, but I may just stop in a couple of months. Finally, before we end the video, I have one final thing to talk about. Coverage overview on the release of the new Luigi items. So this tour had Luigi Knight, the Shielded Speedster, his new Kart, the Silver Luigi Mustache and a Glider. It also had the Luigi's Head Balloon, it was a pack for cheaper than usual. It was a little bit more expensive than the commemorative packs, and it came with either the Luigi or the Mario Head Balloon and the correspondent standard 8. I haven't spent money on this game for I think over 6 months, but just for this one I made the exception. I do not plan to make it anymore. And I basically just wanted to say, these items, what new stuff do they bring to the table compared to other Luigi items? So I took the time to make a comparison. So for Luigi Knight, for example, here's my convention. New means that it's a new level 6 item for that track that doesn't have any coverage clashes with any other Luigi items. New slash dupe means it's a new track, quote unquote, but also it came with a duplicate coverage with another item from the same category. So in this case, Luigi Raceway, in fact every single Luigi Raceway, they got new coverage from new Luigi items, but at the same time they have more than one Luigi item on the track, so that's what it means. Luigi Raceway here as well. These other ones are also new tracks that didn't have any Luigi coverage in them, so they're new. And the total is 6 out of 8 tracks, with 2 of them being dupes. And now Luigi Knight has Boomerang, which is a good skill, so technically he would be my go-to driver on them. But if I didn't have Knight, I would still have some other Luigi option on the track. The Kart, on the other hand, here we have dupe, for example, in Piranha Plant Slide. This means that this is an older track that already had a Luigi item, and now it also got the new one, so it comes for this one and for Piranha Plant Slide T. Luigi Raceway T, as I said, there are many Luigi items in there besides the new ones, and the rest of the tracks have just new level 6 Luigi coverage on them, or actually just Luigi coverage on them. Doesn't matter if it's level 6 or not. For the Silver Luigi Mustache, this is kind of unfortunate, and same for this one. Half of them are new dupe. Here, Bowser Castle 1R. This is actually it was new last tour, and it got a couple of buffs this tour because it's featured again. I do believe I said it before when I was talking about the coverage, that, or if I didn't, then I'll just say it here, that the Bowser Castles from last tour had hard coverage, and now some Luigi items got them. which is good for me. Meanwhile, these are new coverages as well. We got some older tracks like Decay Passes and Summits that got new Luigi stuff, so it's good because I didn't really have too many things on those that were old. And then we have the Luigi. Oh, Ghost Valley 2. I forgot about this one. Well, you have to pardon me. I'll just put it on screen right now. I forgot to check this one. 2, 4, 6. So it's actually 7. Okay. So I'll just put the value of this one. But as I said, Luigi Raceway as well. So it's Dupe. Remis Puzzle Castle 1R. I believe it's the same one as this one. So it's new, but they both got it. Oh, I mentioned the level. Yeah, I apologize for not saying it earlier. I went up till level 6 here, so I'm not considering level 8, because these items I already made them level 6. So this is what they unlock level 3 and 6. And that's basically it. The hopes of the future is that newer tracks continue to get these items, hopefully with not many clashes in the coverage, since some of the older Luigi items are already starting to lose their steam, if they haven't completely already. So now that we got new ones, hopefully they get new stuff on them. Especially the one that was paid. You know, usually paywalls end up getting good stuff. This one actually starts with less tracks than most of these other items, but hopefully it gets some of the harder stuff to cover in the future. Well, at least that's what I'm hoping. That's why I spent the money on it, and as I said, I'm not gonna do it anymore in the future. It was just this one thing that I wanted to do, but I don't see myself spending more money on this game. Well, okay, I think that's basically it, what I wanted to share. I am honestly running out of things to talk about in this series. Besides just playing the game, I will of course continue to do this strategy. I may just do something for the New Year's, and then unless something completely incredible happens, I may not make too many new episodes, or mainly I would just do this. Basically talking about what a new Luigi brings to the table, but that's about it. It's something for the future anyways. And the game is changing structurally to the rubies, not having to be on the pipe pulse anymore. So we'll have to see how it all evolves. But for now, I hope this was useful. I was gonna show another resource, a web page to see clashing coverages, but I just learned recently that that got terminated, so it's a bit unfortunate. But what can I do? For now, I hope you enjoyed me reading an Excel sheet for about 30 minutes. I don't know how long I've recorded for, but I hope you enjoyed. Check out the other episodes if you haven't to see what exactly the strategy is and how I came here, my story on all of that, and some of the spreadsheet that I showed before and how it works. Check out some of the other videos in my channel if you are interested. I aim to cover more video games. And I think that's basically it. I'd say we wrap it up here. So don't forget, you'll always be welcome in my town. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.